Hey Kriss, I want to do a quick macro assessment. This was for yesterday, and I'm assuming when you log your macros that they're as accurate as they can be. And that's the goal, to not leave anything out or to majorly have your portions off. Like if you actually had 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, but you only logged 1 teaspoon. Making sure that the portions are accurate as you can get them, and that you didn't leave anything out entirely. Like at the end of the day, if you snacked on 4 Girl Scout cookies, make sure to add those in there just so you can visually see how the carbs and fats and calories were, what they were and how they changed your totals for the day. So getting into your macro totals. So overall, I know that we're working towards eating a little bit more food than usual, because I don't want you to get used to eating 1,200 calories or 1,300 calories or 1,400 calories. That's a really low caloric intake. So I don't want someone's body to get used to that, because then you have nowhere to go from there if we do want to cut calories down for a short period of time. So also, with doing your workouts, you want to have a substantial amount of calories just so you can actually build and sustain muscle and fuel yourself enough. But I would say aiming at around 1,500 calories would be amazing every day, and trying to not go below that. So let's take a look at this. So you hit around 1,300 calories. And so your protein was pretty good. You weren't too far off. Your fats were still on point. You didn't go over. And your carbs were a little bit under. That's because your carbs, fats, and proteins grams, they make up your caloric intake. So if you're under your protein and under your carbs and or under your fats as well, you're going to be under your calories. Because if you remember in the training module, it explained that for protein and carbs, each gram is 4 calories. 1 gram is 4 calories. And then for fats are more dense in calories, so 1 gram is 9 calories. So with that being said, I noticed that you had a cupcake, which that's fine. I'm never going to tell anybody to cut anything out and restrict them. I'm only going to recommend and advise to not snack on something like that every single day. Try to have one day during the week where you said, okay, I had my cupcake and I fit it in my day as good as I could. Instead of eating all your macros and then eating the cupcake on top of that, you more so fit the macros of that in your macros, if that makes any sense. So with having your cupcake, you'll notice that anything like cakes and sweets are higher in fats, and they're higher carb. They're higher carb, higher fat items. So you'll notice that you used a lot of your fats up with that cupcake. So then you were probably saying, okay, I don't want to go over my fats, but I'm only at 1,300 calories. And that's because, like I mentioned, fat grams are higher calories per gram. So that's why it is so easy to go over our fats And typically when that happens, we're under our protein and under our carbs. So then we're left thinking, okay, what do I do now? So what you could have done is you could have added in like one more serving of a lean protein, something that's lower fat, a lower fat protein, something like shrimp, something like tuna, something like chicken, something you could have had a yogurt that was high protein, and even if it had some fruit in it, some carb count in it, that would be fine too, because you were still under your carbs. And then you could have added in a lean, low-fat carb option. And typically complex carbs are the best option for that because they are lower sugar, lower fat carbs. So if you would have added in about, I would say one more serving of protein and and 2 more servings of carbs, you would have been very on point. So you would have had more calories in your day, and you wouldn't have gone over your fats, but you would have hit your protein and carbs because you chose leaner options. So that would not have set you over your fats, and you would have had a little bit of a higher calorie intake. So overall, your foods are good. They're mostly nutrient dense. You're choosing foods that are more whole grain byproducts, and things that are higher protein. You're choosing more proteins in your day, fruits and vegetables, and you did fit in the healthy fats I see as well, and you did fit in the cupcake during that day. So honestly, that was okay to do. The only thing, like I mentioned, is that your overall caloric intake was kind of low, and you were probably thinking, "Oh, I'm full. I'm not even that hungry," and you didn't want to go over your fats anymore because you expended a lot of them in your day already, especially with that cupcake item. So, like I mentioned, adding in 1 to 2 more servings of a complex carb and 1 more serving of a leaner protein option would have been great to top off your day. And that is pretty much all I have to say. Banana. Okay, so sorry, I'm looking through. Okay. So yeah, and also let me know how you like the Premier protein shakes. Okay, so I noticed you had 2 of the Premier protein shakes. So I wouldn't overdo it with any type of protein shake, because it can sort of bind someone's digestive tract up. And also with the things like the Premier protein shakes and a lot of protein powders overall, and the drinks, the pre-made drinks, they can have a lot of additional ingredients in them that can cause bloating and some IBS problems. So overdoing it is gonna enable that to happen. It might irritate your stomach, it might not, but try to stick to 1 protein shake every day or every other day. And then if you're struggling to get protein in, just remember to look over your protein food lists. So if you had to add in like 3 egg whites in your day to hit your goal, as opposed to having 1 more of those protein shakes, then you should have done that instead. Or say you had 1 serving of tuna instead of that extra protein shake. So always try to get in protein mostly with actual foods, and then like once in the day, try to supplement with some sort of shake. So I think that is all I have to say. And I know it's hard to get in protein. It really is. You just have to find your most favorite options and double up on servings a few times a day of those things, just to get in a bigger bulk 2 or 3 times, like 1 or 2 times a day. And then the rest of the day, just do the one serving of your protein choices. Try to get in protein with every meal, and with some of them, like I said, double up on the servings. But realistically, with every meal, we're not going to get protein, like a protein dense item in, but try to every time, as often as you can. And I hope that helped. Let me know if you have any questions. But yeah, I would just go over your protein list again and try to write out your favorite options, even if it's something that isn't necessarily something you would love. Like, say you actually aren't a big fan of tuna, but there are a lot of things I've figured out how to make better, how to taste better, and I know that I'm just getting it in that one time in the day just to get in more protein. So it might not be something that you're absolutely like looking forward to and loving, but it's something that you just kind of have to do, and hopefully you've figured out a way to make it taste better. With a lot of things, I'll try to add in my favorite salsa or different seasonings, or low sugar, low fat sauces and dressings to make things taste better. Adding in, I have this really good mango salsa that I really love, and I add it in a lot of things to make it taste better. So you could add that in your tuna, you could add that in your ground turkey, you could add what else do I put that in? I put that in something else too. I can't remember. But yeah, just try to get creative and find ways to make things taste a little better, and just so you know you're getting in more protein. So over time, you'll kind of figure out how to do that, and learn how to better make things taste better, and they will become more of your favorite protein items over time, just because you've figured out how to make them taste better and how to get them in your day, and you'll get better with it over time. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, let me know. These macro assessments aren't to really tell someone they're doing bad, or they shouldn't have this, or they shouldn't do that. It's more so to just show you what the foods were in terms of the macros and how they set you over, and how you can add in X, Y, and Z to better hit your macros on point. So little by little each week, you'll recognize that and learn that, and then you'll start to go throughout your day more intuitively thinking, okay, I need to add in more protein. I should probably have more protein with this meal, and I should probably have a lower fat carb, or a leaner, lower fat protein, because I've already expended a lot of my fats so far in the day. You'll start to intuitively think that way, and recognize those things. And that's the overall goal. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'm going to